so far today, has not lost a single game, while PvpDavid did lose one to Palasha. Let's see who will win this in this best of 5 winners finals here. We've got the Furret up against the Corviknight.
Worst case scenario for this Furret, but I suspect PvpDavid will stay in for a little bit, and he will charge up some energy, then go into his Altaria.
Altaria trying to catch an attack, but Boom waited there, stored up all of that energy on the Corviknight, and came in with the Furret of its own. Furret show here on both sides, going for that Swift here. No Protect Shield on the Altaria on the side of PvpDavid.
I think this is good game plan from PvpDavid. The Furret is looking pretty safe, and the Altaria now fishing out the Furret, I think can set up the Unova and Stunfisk in the back to have a really good time against the Corviknight.
Already at another Swift, just charging up a little bit more energy, going for that charge attack priority. I don't think the Swift on the side of Boom's Furret is going to be enough to knock out the Altaria, while that Sky attack will be able to do so. But both of these players don't often play for switch, they play for energy management, and Boom does not put up a shield. Let that Furret put in the work. Let's see what's going to come in to get a farm.
I'm kind of shocked that Boom let it go.
Thunder-shocked?
I'm thunder shocked, but now Boom goes for that farm down and barely gets it before David gets to that Sky attack. But now, at least PvpDavid. Oh, and Boom catches a Trailblaze. Incredible timing by this young prince of PvP.
Yes, this boost is going to help, but maybe not very much. Furret is forced to stay in this for a couple more moments and has to take an attack on the side of Boom, throwing that heavy hitting payback. 2 Protect Shields remaining, still not being used. Furret takes that whole payback there and still just charges up a lot of energy before now going into the Unova and Stunfisk, but switch timers are very misaligned.
They're so misaligned that Boom, he can now maybe potentially shield up his Corviknight and pivot back into his Unova and Stunfisk. And that Stunfisk has a lot of energy because it farmed down the Altaria, but can PvpDavid threaten it with a discharge? Yes, he can.
Going ahead, just getting up a ton of energy. Once a reminder, 2 Protect Shields now down to 1 on the side of Boom as he does protect up that Corviknight because he's almost at another attack here. Going for the payback. There's so much energy on the side of Stunfisk, but David did not want any of that electric energy to be caught on the Unova and Stunfisk on the side of Boom. He was playing very warily, and he also put up a shield. Look at this play! Look at this play! He went for Mud Bomb, and Boom doesn't shield!
And this is great by PvpDavid, expecting a swap, but Boom, he has the answers. He now has all the energy he needs to take out this Unova and Stunfisk. The Furret in the back took a payback. It is now incredibly low.
Well, speaking of incredibly low, that Unova and Stunfisk on the side of PvpDavid is as well, but it's still able to get off a parting Mud Bomb. We're going to see an aggressive Thundershock down. We saw it on the Altaria. We're about to see it on the Unova and Stunfisk to come out with a ton of energy to this Furret.
This Furret is so low, it will go down to a single Mud Bomb. Boom! He seems to have found his way. Even though he gave up alignment, he can now shield up his Unova and Stunfisk and get rid of this Furret.
Even though this is a Swift, Boom uses his shield here, doesn't want to take any risks because a Mud Bomb is ready to go. This Furret is low. There's no Protect Shields being able to be even used on this Furret, and Boom takes game number 1.
Here we see just a Thundershock down on this Unova and Stunfisk, and we have our game winner here. It will be Boom 2-0, winning 1-0, going 1-0 up in this winners finals.
Boom has not lost a single match on stream so far today. We did know that he said earlier on he's never lost a game at the table, and the joke was, well, too bad, boy, you're on the big stage now, but I don't think he's been having too much trouble at all. But how do you get through this mere team? Is it skill? Is it what Pokemon you're playing? Or is it just a little bit of luck about the alignment?
I'm shocked that PvP...
Yeah, no, you already told me.
Can you stop, Amanda? That Boom is not running the Altaria. It looks so good for the mirror matchup because that Scissor is the only really consistent answer to Altaria. Oh, I guess Florges too. But both Scissor and Florges will lose the Zero Shield matchup against the Altaria. So PvpDavid bringing out the Altaria, knowing it can give him an advantage in some way. That also lets him play a little bit risky.
And I think that that's also why we saw Furret on both of their teams, right? Furret is just a kind of neutral pick. Yes, Altaria does end up beating it, but Furret really put in the work there for Boom, getting that Altaria so low that he was able to completely Thundershock down before taking any sort of attack and coming out with essentially a whole Mud Bomb's worth of energy to throw at a later point in the game.
That was a perfect farm down and perfect for Boom. So how do they adjust for this game number 2? PvpDavid, he was so close, but there were just a few adjustments that went in Boom's favor. Boom, will he stick to his guns? Has he found the way to beat out this mirror team? Or does he switch it up for this next one?
Both of these trainers have definitely played against this team because, like Boom said, they know who wins charge attack priority. They know how these matches could theoretically play out. Does that make you play differently, knowing exactly how your opponent could be playing here? This is a Furret mirror match here. We'll have to see how they want to play it because both of these trainers know a little secret about their Furret. They're both at the Swift. They're both going over, and it looks like PvpDavid is going to throw first, and will Boom use a protect shield?
Boom decides to let it go and take the Swift on his Furret. The Unovan Stunfisk for PvpDavid looks very good in the back, in my opinion. Oh, and he goes for Trailblaze, boosting up his own attack.
This takes a little bit longer to get to, but it does make the next Swift hit harder. David already at another Swift here. He will throw it, and yet no more shields from Boom's side. I think he feels he can comfortably still be able to tank it and get off to a Swift of his own, but will PvpDavid try to catch it on something, or will he use a shield?
So PvpDavid, he knows that this, oh, the Swift will knock out and let it go. He comes out with the Unovan Stunfisk. The Stunfisk is so safe when that Furret is gone. And here comes the Altaria.
Oh no, David!
This was the risk that David took, safe switching the Florges. And now against the Scissor, this Florges is so quickly getting railed down. The Chilling Water comes through, no shield from Boom.
No shield, attack does fall, doesn't even need to, but he decides to actually throw a charge attack here, wants to make sure he doesn't have to use a shield at all on this Scissor, but that floor just will go down. He's got energy to spare here as the Unovan Stunfisk comes in. He'll be able to make a Trailblaze, which would do so much impactful damage. David has to put up a shield in this scenario.
No chance PvpDavid is not shielding here. He's going to hope that his Unovan Stunfisk can Thundershock down this Scissor and then outspam the Altaria.
There's 2 shields on the side of Boom, but only an Altaria against a Unovan Stunfisk on the side of David. David knows he just has to throw straight discharge here. Boom gets that first shield up. Altaria generates energy a lot quicker than it used to be able to, but the damage of the Dragon Breaths is not very much. First Protect Shield was used on the side of Boom. Second one as the next discharge goes through.
There's no mystery left here, no catches to be made. The only question that these trainers have to ask themselves is how much damage can we take? PvpDavid, he falls for the bait. Boom goes for a Sky Attack. Such a risky play in this situation.
Risky play, and it definitely paid off there. Getting the last shield off of PvpDavid. Unovan Stunfisk still throwing its third discharge. This is the first one that will connect with the Altaria. Altaria is still in the green, but about half health. Now straight down to the yellow. Boom just charging up a ton of energy. Another discharge coming through.
PvpDavid is actually getting closer because if a third discharge, if a discharge knocks out here, then Boom might not have the power left to take out this Unovan Stunfisk. One flamethrower will not knock out. PvpDavid is throwing, and he thinks he's got it. And Altaria goes down. PvpDavid, he takes it.
2 shields, not enough for that Altaria. Unovan Stunfisk getting so much energy there in both game number 1 and game number 2 for these trainers.
The first game Boom has lost on stage the entire day. He has not dropped a single game in the entirety of day 2 until PvpDavid found his Unovan Stunfisk, even got his Florges on that Scissor, but the Unovan Stunfisk powered through the Altaria with its discharge spam.
You know what the big problem was for Boom there is he threw the Trailblaze, but the switch timer wasn't close enough to being up. You saw him trying to click on the Altaria, trying to save a little bit of that Scissor because he didn't want to let David get all of that energy on the Unovan Stunfisk. David played that so well. He recognized even shielding up a Sky Attack bait, he was still able to take that game.
so many discharges coming through that Altaria, even the Dragon of the Sky, had to fall down. That is the downside for Altaria, being a dragon and flying type. It takes neutral damage from those discharges. And Unova Stunfisk has both the Mud Bomb coverage and also that discharge, and that gave it enough leverage to get through the Altaria.
So in a typical matchup in our standard best of threes, which we've seen up until now, this would be the decisive moment. But no, not yet.
No.
Not yet, Marcus. We are in a best of 5 scenario on this winners final. So these trainers still do have a little bit of that wiggle room. They can decide how they want to play out the matches. Both of these have been incredibly close. Trainers have recognized what they needed to do to win and how they could no longer have any win conditions.
So will they adjust yet again? PvpDavid and Boom both leading their third this time. I think Boom will maybe bench his Scissor. It was, even though we got on the Forges, it set up the Unovan Stunfisk for success. So I think David, he keeps bringing the Stunfisk, and it seems like he did, and Boom gets it where he wants it. This is the exact same team from Boom.
And Boom saying, okay, well, I lost, but let me show you how I meant to play it. Now coming in with that Ferret up against that Unovan Stunfisk, Mud Bombs will be thrown. They're going to be able to put in some nice chip, but unfortunately for that Unovan Stunfisk, that Trailblaze is just going to do so much more damage. You have to worry if you want to put up a Protect Shield so early on in the game. David says, no, it's not going to be the first one that's going to hurt me.
And PvpDavid here, his Unovan Stunfisk is now getting dangerously low. This means this Stunfisk is now manageable by both the Altaria and possibly also that Scissor in the back.
And honestly, if you think about it, it was a Unovan Stunfisk that took out the Altaria before, but there's an Altaria in the back, and the Unovan Stunfisk is so low that it doesn't even matter. Look at this charge attack priority. These trainers know how to count and knows who's going to win that charge attack priority. There's Swift coming through, a boosted Swift at that. Down goes Unovan Stunfisk, in comes the Altaria, but it's going to have to take another boosted Swift as Boom already has one loaded on the Ferret.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and Ferret gets to a Swift. Altaria takes it on the chin, but it will hurt. And here comes a Scissor swap from Boom. He knows now the Stunfisk is gone, so he can safely come into his Scissor.
This is the thing, even though Dragon Breath generates energy so quickly, there's 2 shields to hide behind the Shadow Scissor. Shadow Scissor was actually David's pick for this cup here, and it looks like he's going to be able to have it used against him because Boom has brought it this round, getting that shield because David has now brought in a Ferret, doesn't want to take any risks.
And Scissor, being a steel type, does not need to respect the energy from this Ferret. And now PvpDavid. The Ferret needs to respect the energy from that attack-weighted Scissor, so David puts up a shield.
Both shields have been used by PvpDavid at this point on this Scissor, but he's just getting a ton of energy on the Ferret. Ferret has to throw some energy into this low health Shadow Scissor to get it out of here before the next attack goes through. Now, this Ferret on the side of PvpDavid has a lot of energy, already a Swift and a half stored, but Altaria is here with a shield to hide behind. First Swift coming through, and this is not a boosted one.
And PvpDavid, he knows he needs to pull out a miracle to get through this Altaria because of how boosted it can be. I think Boom will just Dragon Breath down this Ferret, keep his shield in the back, and then try to take out this Altaria from on PvpDavid's side.
Well, he might have to throw right away because Ferret was going to get to another Swift, but with no Protect shields remaining, it's going to have to take this Sky attack. The real question will be, how much does this Dragon Breath damage do? Because David's is a little more healthy, but it's too far away from an attack.
And PvpDavid nods. He is now down 2-1 in this winner's final. If Boom gets another win, he will win.
Both of these trainers sitting up a little bit straighter, looking at the team composition, saying, what in the world can I do to win this next matchup? In this winner's final, whoever wins this game is guaranteed to be in the grand finals.
There's so much mind games going on right now. If you lead the Altaria as PvpDavid, you get a good matchup against the Ferret. But if you lead the Florges, if Boom leads the Florges, then it will have a good lead into either the Ferret, the Unovan Stunfisk, or the Altaria. So maybe the Scissor is the way to go. There's so much going on, and I'm all here for it, trainers. There's just so many ways that these trainers can play out the mirror matchup here.
And absolutely funny is that they haven't been playing mirror teams. Both of them have been opting to play different Pokemon, so they're utilizing the teams a little bit differently, even though the 6 Pokemon are the same. boem20 has a 2-1 over David right now. He just needs one more game to be able to secure his spot in the grand finals in his 3rd ever tournament. PvpDavid wants to make that sweep. He wants to make that comeback, and if he does so, he needs to do it now. He's got that Corviknight, a great lead up against Boom's Furret.
And here we see probably the same strategy applied by Boom as David did in game number 1. Build up the energy and then go into the Unova and Stunfisk. Now PvpDavid can get the Stunfisk on his Furret. This is exactly where David wants to see it.
Furret's just skittering around the field on both sides here, gaining up as much energy as possible. Mud Bomb number 1 going through. This Unova and Stunfisk did have a very small energy advantage, but when there's a Trailblaze in, the energy might not even matter as much because you still need to throw off many more attacks to get the Furret as low as this is going to make it.
PvpDavid has now boosted up his Furret and is looking great because one more Swift can take out this Unova and Stunfisk, and Furret is not getting threatened of getting knocked out right away either.
If you look at the back, though, the Furret doesn't want to face off against the other Corviknight. Going for that Swift, like you said, Marcus. But look at this play by Boom. He has the energy on the Unova and Stunfisk. Maybe he wants to save it for a later point. But we'll see if he's going to throw right away, just gaining a little more energy. He's up to 2 Mud Bombs and throwing a Discharge because he recognizes, okay, I already saw that Corviknight. Maybe if it's trying to switch back in, I won't be able to catch it off guard.
Either charge attack will knock out, and PvpDavid, oh, there comes the catch! Boom! Gets the Swift on the Corviknight, and now the Furret will struggle to build up to another one, but PvpDavid has the alignment that he needs, gets the Altaria on the Corviknight. Boom! Grimacing. This flamethrower will hurt the Corviknight so much.
Not only that, these fast attacks of the Corviknight are doing nothing to this Altaria. Altaria is going to be able to hit back harder, hit super effective.
Ooh.
Not enough to take it out, but they're still just charging up a ton of energy. Boom, going for, looks like perhaps a double air cutter rather than a payback. No Protect Shield on the side of PvpDavid.
But the Corviknight is so low.
Yeah,
Can it even get? Can it get to another attack? No, it goes down with so much energy stored.
Boom shakes his head in frustration. In comes the Furret. It did have some energy saved, but there's still so much energy on the Altaria side here. When will Boom use this last shield? Altaria's looking pretty up in the sky there. Sky attack number 1 going through, knocking that Furret down pretty low. But at this point, I think that Boom still knows how to count here. No, he's going to go for all these attacks. He's not even going to use his shield. I think Boom is conceding this game number 4.
Boom is definitely conceding this game. He knew that even though he got the catch on the Corviknight, being met by the Altaria backline was not the play from him. If he had a Scissor there, maybe there was a way, but not with the Corviknight faced up against the Altaria. Kiss from the pretty Altaria in the sky, and Sky Attack and Flamethrowering everything on the field.
In our first matchup that is a best of 5 of today, we are going all the way into the 5th and final game. boem20 has been 2-0ing all of his opponents up until this point, where he has met his match in his friend, his now foe, PvpDavid07.
How fitting is it not that these two trainers who built this team together are now facing off in the winners finals, and both of them have won 2 games each, and now this is the final 5th game. Who can pull the longest straw and who can knock the other down to face Colin 6 in the losers finals? Both of them want to avoid letting that happen.
None of them want to face off against the final boss. All of them have been regional champions in the past, but all of them, I would say, want to be regional champions in the future as well.
I mean, I'd also take a regional championship if it was offered to me, so let's see who of these trainers will accept the offer this time. Can they take me up on it? Who will it be? We've seen the Furret every game. Do you think there's any reason to not play Furret here in game number 5?
I think Furret has a big neutrality throughout this whole matchup. While it might not be able to win everything, it can put in some meaningful chip damage. It's been used often in the lead or that safe swap position, so we'll have to see how they want to play it out, because we're getting into it. Get back to your screens here. We're going into a mirror matchup of this mirror team with the Altarias in the sky.
And it's an entirely mirror matchup. We see the Altaria in the lead and the Furret and Unovan Stunfisk in the back for both trainers. Maybe they can try to get a catch, but I don't know how this is going to go. We will need to see. This matchup with Altaria into Altaria will come down to who wins charge attack priority.
And keep in mind, both of these trainers already know between themselves who wins that charge attack priority, so perhaps the fact that Boom didn't go for it. And look at this, a simultaneous swap into the Furrets!
How come both of these trainers are both so they're doing exactly the same, going both for the Trailblaze. And boom, 20's Furret is winning that charge attack priority. PvpDavid shielding up the first Trailblaze. That is a curious decision.
Now, this will be funny. You see that Boom actually doesn't shield up this Trailblaze here. And it's going to knock him down kind of low, but he's going to be able to pace at the exact same time. Now, Boom did win that first one there, but let's see who wins this one. Guess what? It's PvpDavid. They know that it's a coin flip scenario of who would win between their Furrets.
This seems to matter to these trainers, that they both know that these birds are exactly the same. And when a Pokemon has the exact same attack stat, that means that the charge attack priority is randomly selected. And here comes another charge attack priority, PvpDavid. He's going to strip away the shield of this Altaria.
Altaria is at the Sky Attack, wants to get this Furret out of the way, or at least get that last Protect Shield. Oh, what am I saying? No Protect Shield on the side of PvpDavid. This is going to make that Furret go bye-bye. But is this just, again, the perfect farm opportunity for that last Pokemon, or the Altaria takes it back in and takes it down?
And great recognition by PvpDavid, in my opinion. One more Thundershock for the Unovan Stunfisk will let it outpace the Furret, will let it outpace the opposing Unovan Stunfisk, and he has the Altaria with now some energy in the back as well.
Decisive Game 5. Both trainers led Altaria. Both trainers simultaneously swapped into their Furret, which is a coin flip for charge attack priority. And now in the back line, we have the Unovan Stunfisk lined up against each other with David's with one Thundershock ahead. Both of the trainers both have a little bit of health up on their Furrets and Altarias in the back. It's still anyone's game.
PvpDavid will know that when he inevitably gets to his third Mob Bomb, he will have to throw it immediately to avoid a charge attack priority event against Boom Stunfisk. That will allow Boom to go for a potential catch into his Furret. And then we see, PvpDavid knows exactly when to throw. He waits a turn to see if Boom is swapping. He wasn't. PvpDavid, now can he take this game? This Altaria is getting so close to a Sky Attack, and PvpDavid
taking it through Sky Attack in a completely mirror matchup of a mirror team.
And PvpDavid, he got the final game. It was first Boom winning game number 1, and then Boom again going up 2-1, and then PvpDavid decided, enough with this nonsense. I want to be the one to go into the grand finals. You take on the final boss.
And that's exactly what he will do. Our Stuttgart regional champion of the previous year wants to become the 2026 Gdańsk regional champion. He'll be in that winners finals, but he will have